this computer. Okay, so this right here is the purpose. So just a recap on here. So if you guys do not know your goals and you have no clue where you are going, how could you ever possibly get there? So the example that we just used was a fire. So getting upset when you set your goals before in the past, and having frustration with it is like yelling at the fire. Like you have a piece of wood in your hand and here's the fire stating, I will give you more wood once you give me more fire. Like if you do not feed the fire, meaning if you don't write your goals and know where you're going, when are you ever going to get there? Never. It is the most ridiculous thing to get upset at or frustrated about. So you can study the how to do something all you want, but you will never understand the how or execute the how until you understand your why you're doing it. And the why has got to be so much bigger than money. The why has got to be way bigger than you. You can't just do it for yourself. The why has got to be something else. So like, it's like, what is something that you've always wanted to do your whole life, Kevin? And you're just tired of saying it, like you're going to take care of your mom, you're going to fly somebody out.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to take care of just taking care of me my whole life. And
Fly or where?
I just want to take it. Like I want to, buy her a house and things like that. Like
Why don't you?
Huh?
Why don't you?
Well, I'm working on getting there. That's I don't have a goal for it. But
You need a vision board, something up on a board to show you what you're working for every single day. That way, on the days that you don't want to, or for instance, like what's really big is, like for instance, if your bills are $5,000 per month, and you get a sale, let's say if it's $7,000 commission, and you just got paid internally, if you don't have this tracker, like the bigger goals up on play, like the 250K right here that you need in the bank. Let's say if you wanted that in the bank and you wanted to get that really quick. Okay. Once you get paid your 7K, if you don't have this stuff done, what happens to this work ethic right here?
goes away.
It goes away because you've just met what you needed for the month. Okay. Now, if it was 5K per week that you had to have no matter what you would do is you would have your goals. You would have how much you wanted to make per week, how much money that you wanted to invest, what kind of houses you were going to do, what you were going to buy, what you were going to the money that you were going to donate, everything. But what happens is when you don't have that stuff wrote down, it's out of sight and it's out of mind. And your brain only knows what you tell it. Your brain is not designed to protect you. I'm sorry. Your brain is not designed, hold on a second. Your brain is not designed to make you happy. There you go. Your brain is not designed to make you happy. Your brain only believes what you tell it. Your brain is designed to protect you from not going insane. Okay, and I'm going to tell you how fascinating this is. So if you want to make $250,000, but you have a $25,000 work ethic, will your brain allow you to constantly get excited?
No.
Will your brain, will you have to constantly find ways to get motivated?
Yeah.
Answer to Gio's question. Did you guys put that together? Because your brain knows that a $50,000 work ethic is not going to hit that money. So it knows not to let you get excited because that shit's not going to happen. So it won't let you get excited about something. So your brain doesn't get excited, pumped full of endorphins, and then just to be fucking let down when it doesn't happen. It won't allow you to get excited about that because your brain knows it's not going to happen. This is how smart your brain is. Okay. And then here's how crazy the brain is with that, because this is how fascinating it is. So it's called a reticular activating system in your brain that only allows you to focus on a few things at a time. So you actually only can focus on things that you are, you can only focus on things, you're only seeing things that you are focused on the most. For instance,
What's those things where they ask you, like, the bears dancing around and then they'll have the things going through and they'll be like, oh, did you see the bear go through?
yes, that right there,
And it's because they were having you count the balls and you missed the whole bear going through.
correct,
Um,
exactly. The things are right there in front of you the whole time. So for instance, like those appointments that are out there, the sales that are up there, the sales are going on all over the industry right now. In solar, they're all over the place and they're right there in front of your face. But what starts to happen is if you're only focused on things that's not happening. So for instance, if you go into a neighborhood and if you get beat up for the first few doors. Then you start going, well, the A-rated customers that we're gonna go talk to, they weren't home. So I just left. I drove all the way over to the other neighborhood. They weren't there. I seen somebody standing out. I went and talked to them. They said no. They told me to get out of here. A solar company was just in this neighborhood. Then I went to go back to my car. And then I was gonna look and see when it started raining. And I knew it was gonna start raining in the next hour, so I didn't wanna be caught out in the storm. So I figured I might as well drive home and just get an early start tomorrow. And then you get up and then you go home. And then what's going on with your internal self that you're battling with? What does your brain know you just did?
you quit on.
You quit on the day, you quit on yourself and you took the easy route out. Now you have to take that drive home of shame. Now in your head, you're like, yeah, I put the work in. I was out here. I probably did better than 10% of the field out there today. I'm in the top 90%. I'm in the top 10%. I'm in the top 10% of my field. And then you start lying to yourself. But then you tell yourself that you're not good at sales. Okay? Like that right there is lazy thinking, failing to keep motivated, all that stuff right there. All that stuff has to do each other. Now, if you simply just churn off like, okay, so I know that in order for me to hit $5,000 per week, which is most likely not possible, but probable. How much was that sale I just made yesterday, guys?
14.
Okay, that's 3 and fucking 1. Edit that out. 3 and 1. That was $15,000 on that one sale. Okay. Guess what happened to all my sets and my sales that whole week up until that Friday night?
No shows,
No show.
reschedules.
Now, could I sit there and go, ugh, none of these are showing up. None of these people in this neighborhood are doing anything. Okay. And then I just so happened. And then guess what? When did I set that one, you guys? Friday night. Where should I have been?
With your family.
At home with my family. But it took what it took. It took what it took. It takes what it takes. Because I have these lined up on my goals. So now what I should be showing you guys is I told you guys a month and a half ago, I said, watch me, I'm gonna go rattle off how many in a week or in a row? Does anybody remember?
There was a few.
16 self-gens in a row. So now I'm at 4. Since I did that, I thought I was gonna already have 8 by now. Am I frustrated? Hell yes. My frustration level is right now, I'm only at 50 grand for the month. That's my frustration level right now. That's my frustration level right now, because I'm only at 50 grand a month. Now, this home that I was sitting there doing on Friday night, guys, like, I think he actually just sat because I'm out there and it was raining. And then here in Florida, when it rains, what does it do right after that? It gets sunny and then it just gets beating hot. Humid as all can be. I'm literally, it's hilarious. I went and looked at the guy's paper. I'm sitting here signing him. Sweat is just dripping all over his paper. I think he ended up just setting the appointment because he felt bad for me. Okay. So, I go out there. We, that was yesterday. Anna sends me a message Monday morning. Hey, Josh, just want to let you know that won't work out for them today. they're busy. So what do I do anyways? Still went out there. Still went out there. Just went out there anyways. So desperate times calls for desperate measures, or if you're hungry enough, you will find a way. If you're not hungry enough, you'll find an excuse. If you're hungry enough, you will always find a way to eat. But if your belly's full, then you'll always find an excuse. Ah, I'm not that hungry. I didn't need to eat today. But when this is a must, or the things that you're doing with your goals are a must, then all of a sudden magically it will happen. Okay? So for instance, I treat my goals like I would treat somebody kidnapping my kids. Okay? Tim, somebody, it's a horrible example, but can I use it?
Sure.
Somebody kidnaps your son and says, Tim, you will not get your son back until you get 5 sales up on the board. When would you get it done?
I know I'll be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until I got it done, and I'll probably get it done within a couple days.
Probably a couple days. Now, is it possible you could get it done in a couple days?
Yeah.
Now, why did it have to take such a dramatic negative thing to come into your life for that to be now become a must?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Why did it require something so negative for something to get? And so here's what we do as human beings. Urgency, like fear of loss, will start happening. Guess what starts happening? All of a sudden, rent starts coming due, a sale will cancel, and then rent becomes due. Then all of a sudden, what happens to people's work ethic? I gotta go. Tate, love him to death, my son. Okay. Talked back to his mother, grades started slipping. I said, all right, we're pulling you out of football. What? Yeah, I'm not joking. And he knows that I'm not joking. What magically happened to his grades? And how does he treat his mother?
Great.
Like a freaking queen, and grades are straight A's. It's because he was fear of lost. That's how human beings react, okay? So I feel like I'm being redundant on that one, but like if you have no clue to where you're going, and so this is how you actually, this is the other part. People get confused on how to write out their goals. People will never do it. So for one, you guys need a vision board. A vision board. I still do these and I'm 43 years old. I cut out newspaper articles and magazine articles and I put them on boards just like this. So there's a helicopter on mine because I want to own my own helicopter. There's the Quaid Retreat is still on that. There's other rental properties. There's Italy's on that vacation board. There's an RV because I'm taking my RV. I'm taking an RV, the kids on a 45-day tour. I'm just taking a 45-day sabbatical away from all y'all. Get away from everybody. Because my kids are still young enough. I am not going to be sitting there when my kids are 18 years old going, man, I wish I would have done that shit. And when you don't write out your goals and we don't create urgency in your life, what is the most common thing people do later on in life? Is they always say, I wish I would have. I could have made this. I could have done that, but you never knew where you were going. There was no sense of urgency to get anything done. There was no timestamp on anything. So therefore shit didn't get done. Isn't that life?
It's like saying, I'd rather regret doing something than not doing something.
Correct. The number one thing that people, when they die on their deathbed, the number one thing that they say is what? Things that they, all the things that they never did, but wanted to do. The ultimate failure. The ultimate failure. Okay, and especially with your family and your kids. I wish I would have spent more time. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. Like, why live your effing life like that? So, vision board. You guys got to go write out a vision board. The car that you want, the house that you want, the yada, yada, yada. Then what you do is you itemize it. Then you're like, okay, I want to make $5,000 per week. Okay, I want to invest $10,000 into AI. I want to pay mom's rent or house. Okay, I want to this, I want to that, and then you write it all out to the T. Okay, then what you have to do now is you have to create a
Strategy.
strategy. Now you have to create a strategy. So your strategy will consist of, all right, now I gotta work backwards. So what most people do is they'll take a little bit of action, they'll take a strategy, and then hopefully they maybe get to their goal. When will they ever get to their goal? Never, never. Successful people think backwards. People try to do action, strategy, or goals, or they'll create a little bit of a half-ass strategy, and in a moment it doesn't work once or twice. So they'll have half-ass strategy, take really quick action. And then what happens is that strategy sucks or it doesn't work. So then their actions become lower. And then they do nothing. So successful people, they think backwards. They create their life and then they start working backwards. They know where they're going. They know what it's going to take. So the strategy, if you were a producer and if you wanted to make $5,000 a week, is you would have to have at least how many sets per week is the number here in Florida to have, no matter how good you are.
10.
Yeah, you need 7.5. 7.5 sets will get you a sale. And it is driving me insane, you guys, because I am putting up some like damn good sets. And I feel like I'm very talented. I feel like I'm very skill-setted in this, okay? I am putting up some damn good stuff. But if that person's not ready, then that person is not ready.
Mhm.
Okay? If that person, you had to push them into it or whatever it was, that is driving me insane right now. And do I know better?
Yeah.
Should it be driving me insane?
Mhm.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not all knowing. I'm not all powerful. Okay. Like I am human being just like everybody else. But I'm also going, okay, my strategy was to go put up 2 or 3 really good sets. I'll just close one of those down. Guess what? Guess all my strategy is doing? Not very good. So I know that I have to go out there and get 7.5 sets out there. But I know what that's going to take and require is what? Me in the field. I've just got to throw myself out in the field. And so for me right now, with my day in the morning, and especially with school starting, how do you guys think my days go?
Non-stop.
It's not stop. Okay, what are the things that would be maybe roadblocks in my life? Not roadblocks, but definitely things are hurdles that I got to go through.
Kids' schedules,
Kids.
yeah.
So not just my kids, but I gotta hang out with my kids and I gotta show them individual attention.
Yep.
And how many do I have?
4.
4, okay? So kids plus individual attention. Okay, and then I'm also married, so I can't just feed her some money and her be happy, right? No, she also needs
Individual.
She needs attention too.
Probably just as much.
Just kidding, Kara. I love you. I love doing it too. I love giving you the attention. So, and just as much, now she doesn't need it. She's like, I just wanted to be happy. I just want security. So, but she doesn't just need the attention. And security coming in, she also needs to have excitement, adventure in her life. She needs security in her life. But she also needs,
Something to look forward.
she needs something to look forward to. She's got to have some excitement in her life. Purpose. So now it's like you got to start planning out schedules. Okay, like the month of May is her birthday is May 3rd. Our anniversary is May 22nd. Warner's birthday is May 22nd. My birthday's May 27th. Her Mother's Day is May like 18th. There's like, and then somebody else is, I'm drawing a blank here.
Lead us. birthday.
There you go, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we gotta celebrate leaders, do it over there, yeah.
You gotta celebrate
Good one.
twice, birthday.
So now you gotta do all that, okay, and then on top of all that, what do I have to do physically for myself in order to keep up with all this?
Work out.
I gotta work out, okay? But I can't just work out, I also have to put the proper nutrition in my body, okay? So then you had to put nutrition. And so what is really hard to have the proper nutrition when you're around
Good.
kids that are snacks all the damn place? It's all sugar, so then I have to keep the right stuff in the house. But when I have to keep the right food in the house, what does that cost?
Money.
A lot of money. We have to shop at the Whole Foods because otherwise I don't want the kids having sugar and everything, because when they have sugar, now they're not paying attention. Now, like, are you seeing where we're going here, you guys? It's a vicious cycle. So these all have to be kids with nice clothes. So this stuff is all wrote out. Like, I want my employees with big checks handing out, okay? I want this what we just saw right there. Now you're starting to see it. The people from the outside are now finally coming to what we got. Those interviews that just happened, that was not an accident. Jack, that's not an accident. You guys, it's not an accident. We started off tiny because we rebuilt everything. And now all of a sudden you're starting to see now you're starting to see the fruits of all the labor start to come through. But was that an accident?
No.
No, this was already
Yeah.
drew out a long time ago. You guys were already drawn out. Now, some will, some won't. So what? Now have the names changed and have the faces changed
Yeah.
in my initial board that I wrote out? Yes. Do I want you guys here?
Yes.
Do I need you guys here?
No.
No. Now, if I was a leader that needed you guys here, would you be here?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Nah.
Now we know what kind of leader Kevin is.
I just didn't say nothing on that one.
I'm gonna say now. Right.
So, because as a leader, you have to be able to willing to say, like, I don't need anybody. I want you, but I am willing to go roll down my sleeves and go do this myself. Because the people will only do what you do, not what you say. People will only do what you do, not what you say. And people do not realize how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay, so when you're at the doors, and if you don't care about that customer, they don't care what you know. Okay, that's why I think, Tim, you had a very strong start, and I think that's why you closed without any sales experience. I have a couple of my dealers right now that are struggling closing sales. They have all the sales experience in the whole world. Tim has 0 sales experience. And he's closing about 50 to 60% of everything he goes and sits in front of. Why?
He's genuine.
Because he's got that southern twang.
Right?
He's got that southern twang. He's like, I get it. I know exactly what Tim is doing already, and I'm not even in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. I get it. I'm the same way. Me and my wife, we're doing this and we're doing that. And to be honest with you, I was scared to death when I did this. I went solar on my house. I did, like, is that a good impression of Tim? Yeah. I could already tell you what he's doing. He's relating so much with the customer. He's talking to them and not at them. And so the customer's guard's immediately going down because I can trust this person. I can talk to this person right there.
They can tell
Come
he's
off as a normal
himself.
person.
His authenticity and his genuine is coming across. Okay, now what's gonna happen?
Keep going.
What's that?
He's like, keep on. Don't let the compliments stop.
Yeah, you good. Now what's gonna happen? Now here's where I'm gonna dog him.
Oh, God. I knew it was coming.
So
Oh, my
what
God.
he's doing is just pure, I don't wanna say talent, but it is a talent. It's a skill set that he's developed over his life. What would happen if he now had a target connected to his skill set?
You can maximize that potential.
Correct.
He would exponentially start growing. He'd be a millionaire in the next year,
He could make 3 times what he's making.
3 times what he's doing right now. And the hard part is like when everybody's actually pretty good at this job. Everybody's actually really good at this job. As long as you don't make it about yourself and all about the money. Because if you can just relax and start to talk to people. You even got guys like Dylan here, that was just sitting here, you could tell, very nervous. But the mofo, you could tell he's just hungry, like he threw himself out there. He's like, you know what, I'm nervous, I'm like, I can't, but like, I'm tired of working at 7-Eleven. You could hear it in his voice. And then he's sitting here watching those two right there, way higher than him, and automatically, he does not go into selling himself. Or making himself look better, he just goes, I'm not that guy, but I will work my ass off, yada, yada, yada. Now, is there a chance that he's just saying that? Yes, because most people in life, they just say it.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to become a millionaire until they figure out what it takes. That's how you know if you are a poser, a pretender, or a contender. Most people are posers. It's hard to hear about that, isn't it? I was a poser for so long.
Well, it's the truth. It's only a 1% club to be a millionaire.
Yeah. Now who can get into 1%?
Oh,
Anybody. It is the simplest things to do. But the problem is they're so simple to do. It's just that they're simpler
Not to do.
not to do.
mm.
This job is so easy to do. It really is. But it's also easier not to do it. And then because it's easier not to do it, now you don't do it. Now you're not experiencing success. And when you're not experiencing success, now you start going, well, this job doesn't work. No, job works. You fucking don't. Job works. You don't. Well, it's gonna work yesterday, but I was looking on the app all day long and I couldn't tell when it was gonna stop raining and not. At my house, it would rain for a half hour and then not rain for a half hour and then rain for a half hour and then not where it rained for a half hour. So I just didn't leave because I was waiting for it to rain. And also, I was gonna take off to go to work, but there was gonna be 18 red lights between my house and my turf where I needed to go. So I was waiting for all the lights to turn green before I left. And I sat there for 3 hours and guess when they all lined up green?
Yep.
Never. So I just couldn't go,
Makes sense.
trying to save gas. How many people are waiting in here for all the lights to turn green before you go? Everybody! And don't fucking lie. Yes, you do. So what you're doing is now as part of your strategy is along the way is you're gonna run into red lights. You're going to run into red lights.
Excuses.
What's a red light?
It's life.
Cancels.
Rain.
Rain. There you go. That's a big one.
Oh,
Rain. What's another one? Mean people?
Yeah.
Mean people that belittle you? Mean people. Okay, we'll use that. But here's what happens when somebody's mean to you and your vision is so strong. What does it matter?
It doesn't.
It rolls off your chest. Because here's why. When you guys have a vision that is so strong, without vision, just remember this, without vision, people will perish. Without vision, people will perish. And how many people do you know in your life that are slowly dying inside? They're walking around, but they're zombies. How many people do you know that are like that? They're pretending that they're happy. They're pretending that life is all good. But inside they're dying because they have no fulfillment. There's no purpose. There's no passion. There's no nothing. There's no nothing. And they're just waiting for the Grim Reaper to come and take them. They're a walking zombie. That me? There's always one. So
It's a reminder to eat every day.
now what happens is when you have all this stuff, so here's part of the strategy. Because this is part of your strategy that you have to have cancels, that you have to have reschedule requested. Okay, because you have to have all this, because it's part of your strategy, when it happens, what happens?
You expect it.
You expect it.
Part of the plan.
That's part of the process. It's part of the process. And when it's part of the process, now it's like, because you have your goals wrote out. Okay, and then what NASA right here is it's massive. Massive. Immediate. Action. This is why it is so hard to figure out my personality for people. Because I am such an empath. Like, I'll literally just start bawling out of nowhere for people because I stress for you guys more than you probably stress for yourselves. I feel your pain more than you guys probably feel your pain. Ask Carol, like, it's still probably now is getting a little better, but I usually only sleep about 1.5 to 3.5 hours per night. As an empath, that's just what it does. Like, you hurt for everybody. You want it for everybody. You're always trying to figure out ways, and it's just hard for me to shut down my brain. Okay, but so I have to really focus on that. I have to have my life so dialed out. I gotta make sure that I'm fulfilling my purpose and make sure I'm executing on all my goals, on all my strategies all the time, because it would be even worse. I would never, ever sleep. Okay. But here's why I don't feel sorry for anybody, because what happens is they won't take massive, immediate action. Okay. And a brand new person like Dylan can come in and destroy everybody. And he would not be good at this job. What's that?
Not like when Christmas came.
Yeah, Christian's a perfect example. Christian is a perfect example. And all of a sudden, he had a rough go at it at the beginning. And then all of a sudden, what did he do? In 2 weeks, 11, 8, 11. And then his 4 kilowatt canceled. But his first 4 canceled, then all of a sudden 11. That's just the way the process worked right there. Okay. And then he had his 4 canceled afterwards. And now he's in Norway or wherever he's. That right there. Yeah, he's out and visited Norway. I think he's out there for 2 weeks. But that right there is he can go out there for 2 weeks because he just made 25 grand in a 2-week period. Okay. So, but somebody like Dylan could come in. And if I can go out there and talk to 4 people and get 1 appointment. Okay. If I can go out there and talk to 4 people and get 1 appointment. And if it takes him 20 people to go out there and get 1 appointment, who will win the end of the week? Always.
The one who works harder.
Huh?
The one who works harder, the 20.
The one that works harder. Because I could go out there and talk to 4 people that week or get 4 appointments that week. And then, I can go talk to 4 people, get 1 per week, or he could go talk to 80. He could go talk to 100 people. And now he got what? 5. I could just simply go talk to 4. And just douching it out today. Get myself out to the field today. I hope everything goes okay today. I hope nobody's mean to me today. I hope nobody looks down on me today. Guys are like, oh, I get it, right? But it's the truth, yeah? It's what it is. And then, so he's going to win. And then what's going to happen is the next month, he's going to go talk to 100 people and get 10. Why?
The skill set's getting better.
Yeah.
It's because he's getting better. He's putting in the reps. He's feeding the fire because he's putting wood into the fire. Now the fire is creating more heat. Now when the fire is getting more heat and you want to throw a log on, how quickly does that log catch on fire? Way faster, because now the fire is burning hot. Anything the fire touches now is now catching on fire. You guys have no fires going on. There's no fire. There's no drive inside. There's no fire. You don't wake up in the morning and cannot wait to get out of bed. So for instance, right now, if you are waking up every morning and you cannot wait to jump up out of bed, there's no fire. But if you wake up when you're done sleeping, which is okay,
Well, we hope we wake up.
huh? Well, there used to be a joke, like when somebody would always used to say, my old mentor, like he would ask everybody, what time they all woke up in the morning, and everybody that had jobs, what did they all have? A set time. And you know, his answer was, when I'm done sleeping. When I'm done sleeping. But he would still, when he was done sleeping, he was up, and then he had like, he had drive, he had papas, he was driven. And so he had big things, he had like apartment complexes, he had strip malls. He had a huge network marketing company. Like he had every single thing you could name. He always had like rental properties that were always worked on. Like he'd just be driving around to his rental properties. Hey, how's everything going today? Good? All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Good. And he'd go drive over to the next one. All right, are we almost done? Oh, we're done here today? All right, cool. How much did we end up putting into this house? And he had employees for all that. How much did we end up putting into this house? We got 140 into it. Okay. And then how much did we buy it for? We bought it for 120. Okay, and how much are we selling it for? It's going up on the market for 600 grand. Okay, that's cool. It was $250,000 we got on this one, huh? All right, cool. Well, if you sell it by the end of this week, I'll do a 10% rip on it. You get your commission, plus we're gonna do 10% more on top of that. So what was that person's incentive now? I'm sitting there watching all this right in front of me. And then he did it because he wrote out, that's what he wanted his life. So what kind of a life is that? You're just driving around from property to property. And you have people that are all around you, like doing this type of stuff. Like, that is what you guys could do, is that's what you wanted to do. Like, if you wanted to drive around in that car, then, so this is the major thing, guys, it's goals, strategies, action. If you do not have a vision board, you don't have to the T what you're gonna do and wrote it down. And part of your strategy is you got to figure out all the things that are in your life. And the strategies are things that you're doing it for. Now, these might look like obstacles. And they might look like hurdles, but for me, they're actually my strength. Because I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for my wife. I'm working out and staying nutrition, get my body healthy for them. So I can be 43 years old and still outbench them and still outrun them on the field. Okay. The running into red lights, like I know all this stuff is happening. Like there's so many other things that are going on right here. That's part of the strategy. You have to write all that out. Okay. And then massive, immediate action. So for instance, how many people were out there yesterday?
Where? Oh, the field?
Out working, yeah.
I was out there for.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to go to.
So we had 4, none of the dealers worked at all, except for the regular 2 dealers right there. So you had like 4 people out there working. Let's go to the production tracker. You can track, we can see everything right here.
I didn't do the, for yesterday.
No, that's fine. We can go to Florida Production Tracker. You can go right there and you can see everything right here. So Travis, we got to figure yours out last week because it showed 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I think.
But actually, you were off. 3 days. You don't think you were out there last week?
No, the first 3 days I wasn't, but Thursday and Friday I was.
Yeah. So
I think I may have figured that out with Sales Rabbit, so we'll.
those things that I delete work.
Well, no, I don't think that did work, but
Yep.
Jacker's a little weird too.
My sales rabbit is on that stuff.
'Cause I don't know, yeah, I'm not
good.
sure if you're familiar with how to use it.
Yeah, I think his is just not dropping pins. He's just got to learn how to drop the pins because sometimes you can go click on the house and then transfer it.
No, mine, the problem with mine is. Look, and I sent Wendy a picture of this. If I click on a house, it doesn't give me the information.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You have to be in that neighborhood to do that. So Travis has to help you. So like, where are we at right
Unless you have
now?
a sign turf, then you can see it.
he has Android too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So right here is where we're
so
at.
first take this off. There you go.
Yep, so that's where we're at right there. So then
Okay.
Sure, make sure you minimize how many spare leaves he has.
So, all right, I'm gonna shut this
What I
down.
do is I click on that so that these things will.
All right,
populate.
that's the training, guys. Goals, strategies, action. Do not be pissed off if you're not getting where you're going, if you don't even know where you're going yourself. Peace.
Turn that off until I get into the subdivision.